What's up, guys? Okay, so there was a lot of negative comments. Um, One person said something about it's like finding Waldo, looking at the grainy photos. Somebody else says, "Do you have any more grainy photos to upload?" So, like, I'm gonna take this video and I'm gonna go to Video Editor and I'm gonna try to splice in the photos along with my words so you guys can see where the photos come from. Because in a lot of ways, it is like finding Waldo. Now, over the past year, in the beginning, these beings were like easily caught, and then they've gotten, I'm sure you've noticed, we went from getting amazing footage of them watching me through trees, like clear as day photos, to the photo of the one across the street, the big round head with the, I circled it in yellow. Those aren't grainy photos. That was actually taken with a high definition night vision camera, but it's in blue, it's in infrared, so it looks like kind of a weird photo. So now, the photo specifically I'm going to aim at in the beginning is the blue demon with the light, with the lit up eye. Okay, it's not a demon, it looks demonish. That photo was taken in the bush right behind, right where I'm facing right now. And it was when I took that photo, because you can only see their infrared through either infrared or if you catch the right shot through a camera. You cannot see it through your eyes. So when I take these photos, these are the things that I'm looking out, that I'm looking for, that it's really hard for me to explain. Like when I make a post and I show you a photo, it's hard for me to explain to you guys what it is I'm looking for, and then I start enlarging the photo, and then I start brightening the contrast of the photo. I know what I'm looking for. You don't know what I'm looking for, but I do. So in this particular photo that we're aimed at, which is the one with the blue face, looks kind of like a demon, one of his eyes is glowing. That is not a head. Their technology looks like a head. That's what I've been calling their receiver this entire time. It's a receiver that they carry around that it takes on the shape of a head. It looks like a fucking head. If you go back to the original trail camera footage, okay, this right here is the flower pot. I'm not sure if you can see it in the dark. This is the flower pot right here. Now, the camera was at this angle, but it was further back underneath the boat trailer. So the being was standing on this desert rose, and you can see him waving his little wand around, and then he sticks his head out of nowhere, and then he retracts his head back. So the being was only about this tall, standing on top of the flower pot, okay? Now, in that video, if you go back and you look underneath the trailer where the trail camera was aimed, look at the tire, and you'll see the same exact thing. You'll see what looks like a round little alien head with one light glowing, one eye glowing. That one eye glowing is infrared. That is how they work their technology. So the smaller ones have this wand that you see in my videos waving around. The taller ones have a type of a ring that serves the same purpose. They carry this receiver around with them that looks like a head. All the head is doing is radiating infrared. It acts remotely with the ring or the wand. So as long as they stay within range of that ring or wand, it's radiating infrared all over their body. So the trick is really in their clothes. It's nothing more than an optical illusion. So they can stand a foot away from you, and because our eyes don't detect infrared, infrared's like 2 or 3 photons below what the human eye can detect, something like that. They can literally stand 2 foot away from you and you can't see them because our eyes do not detect infrared. So it's not like they're in some trans-dimensional state. It's not like some weird paranormal thing. All it is great fucking technology. That's all it is. So the more used to my cameras they got, the more used to my cameras they got, the slicker they got. So now instead of carrying around 1 infrared light with them, they carry 4, sometimes 5 infrared lights with them. What that does is it makes it like fucking 10, 15, 20 photons below what the human eye can detect. And they do that so that my cameras can't detect them. So in this one photo, the one blue head, it's in blue, and you see the one eye glowing. It looks kind of like a demon face. The original photo was 4 lights, 4 infrared lights that I'd caught with my camera. When I noticed that, I couldn't see it with my eye, just through the phone. So I enlarged it, then brightened it, then enlarged it, then brightened it, then enlarged it. So now in the next one, and I'm talking, when I go back to Video Editor, I'm going to put all this in there. So now the next one, somebody said was a tree trunk. It was just tall. It looked like a fucking tree trunk. The original footage, I was standing at my chicken coop. Okay, I was on the phone with my mother. I was closing the chicken coop, and it sounded like a fucking eagle. I mean, it was loud. My mother even said it sounded like it was coming from inside the phone. And then the next day, the neighbor came over to bring my bowls back to give her eggs, and she had even heard it. She said it woke her up out of bed, asked me if I knew what it was. So standing at the chicken coop, I started taking photos of where the noise was coming from. Well, you'll notice in the photo up on my porch are 3 beautiful, like diamond-shaped lights. Again, I couldn't see these lights with my eyes. I didn't see them until I looked back at the phone. So then I enlarged it because I noticed the guy standing in my yard just at the opposite side of my fence. So I enlarged it and brightened it, and enlarged it and brightened it, and enlarged it and brightened it. So what looks like a grainy photo to you guys is just me trying to enlarge it from a very far distance away so you can see it. Now, if I was to go outside now and take a photo from the chicken coop in that same direction, the one thing you're going to notice is that tall motherfucker isn't standing there, and that diamond-shaped light isn't glowing on my back porch. Now, the glow that you guys see, the light that was playing with my hand, that was the cool one. I was out front taking pictures of my moringa trees, because I've got like 4 or 5 foot tall moringa trees that I'm posting for sale. So I'm taking pictures of the moringa trees out front here, and that light comes right in front of the camera like this, and then it moves really quick. So I kind of caught it like taking pictures. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And then it did it again, and at first I'm thinking it was like a moth or a bug. So I'm walking around the front, and it just kept doing it really quick, really quick. So I go into the backyard. I can't even remember what landed me in the backyard, but then it started flying in front of the camera. And I'm like, shit. So then it moved. So then I'm trying to like move the camera around like this to catch it, and then as I'm moving like this, you could see a little bit of it coming into the frame. So then it would stop, and you could see little wings flapping around. So then once I reached my hand out to touch it, it stopped flying, and it just let me run my hand through it, it was a kind of a weird feeling. I couldn't see that with my eyes. Like, my son was standing right there when all this happened, and it's not something we were able to see with our eyes. That light was not there. We could only see it through the phone. So to the person that said that it's like, my photos are like Finding Waldo, that's exactly what it is. You have to know what you're looking for, like these little dots of infrared light that they use to conceal themselves. When you're taking photos, if you notice these dots, if you enlarge it enough and brighten enough, you're going to see, what's radiating the light. Not all footage is as good as the footage I got a year ago. You guys just have to trust that when I'm taking these photos, I specifically know what I'm looking for. But a lot of you don't go back and watch the older footage where I explain what I'm looking for. If you go back, like the ones that have been following me for a long time, where we started catching them using the cats. The cats can see in infrared. That's why I started getting infrared equipment. We explained how we came to finding them and what led me to get infrared equipment. And then that led to catching that 14-footer on the roof across the street. Then that led to catching the one laying on his back across the street. It's just like one leads to another, to another, to another. Then the one that moved the palm branch in front of its face so I couldn't see it. It was looking in the dining room window. So I put my night vision goggles on it, and when it noticed I was looking back, it covered its face up with the palm branch. Then the trail camera footage where the one stuck he was cloaked, that's the one that made that Nukes top 5. So yeah. You guys just have to trust that I know what's there, regardless whether it's grainy. And I've seen on the Nukes, people make comments on the Nukes video all the time about grainy photos. Why people don't take photos of ghosts and aliens with high quality cameras and better cameras. Well, the simple answer to that is nobody fucking ever knows when they're going to get a photo of it. It's just one of them accidental things that happens. Now, me personally, I can hear them out there. So I actually go out there and I take photos and I deliberately look for things like infrared lights showing up inside of the camera. I just look for weird anomalies, and then when you enlarge it enough and you brighten enough, I will know what I'm looking at. The people that's been following me long enough, they will know what they're looking at. But for those of you that are just making ignorant fucking wisecracks, man, go back and watch all of my content titled Science and Technology, all of my footage, and you will see how their technology works. That way when I upload future photos, you know what the fuck you're looking at.